Hey guys, my name is Shadowswelm. Some of you may or may not know me. This is going to be an AMA video. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself so you can know what sort of questions I will be willing to answer. First things first, I'm about 30 years old. I'll be 30 in September. So any sort of life questions you have, I may or may not be able to answer. Relationship stuff, I don't know. I'll do my best. I've been told I'm actually better at giving advice than I am, you know, heeding advice, if that makes sense. I'm shift leader. I was that I was in that role for about 8.5, 9 months. Got promoted at the end of October to be an assistant manager, and now as an assistant manager, I've been in this role for going on a year. So I've been with GameStop for quite a while, been around the block. I've seen my share of Karens, Susans, and whatnot. Go ahead and ask me any question, and I will answer to the best of my abilities when it comes to perks and stuff like that. Some of the ins and outs, some of the things I've had to deal with from other associates, from coworkers, people higher up on the food chain than on me, like my district and regional managers, or even my employees, like my regular part-time associate that's there maybe once a month, to other to shift leaders that we have in the store. I can tell you some of the stuff that's happened. Some, like I said, some good, some bad. Obviously, I can't give names out or anything else. Can't give store location, phone number, anything like that. That's all off the table. Before anybody asks, I do not know the release date of the PlayStation 5. I do not know the release date of the Xbox Series X. I do not know the price point of the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5. So please do not ask. Those questions will be ignored. And if you ask me when are we going to get restock of X item, I do not know. Things are being held up at ports, and factories are not at 100% efficiency right now, so take that as you may. I myself personally ordered 2 visors for my car, one for the driver's side, one for the passenger. The driver's side was coming in from Taiwan. It was held up for 3 weeks at the port of Los Angeles. 3 weeks for a car part. So if I ordered a car part that's worth $40, imagine how companies feel like Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, and Target, and GameStop. People begging us for controllers and this thing and that thing, headsets and systems. It's not that we don't want to sell to you. We don't have the product in store because they're being held up at ports. They haven't had time to leave the warehouse yet. I'm going to be flat out honest with you. If you ask me in my store, do I have a Switch in stock? The answer is most likely no. We received a shipment of Switches in, and within 3 days they were sold out. We had about 5 come in. The first day we sold 3 of them. The other 2 were somehow not sold within the first day. So, yes, they come in not often. I had PlayStation 4s come in. The 1 terabyte Slims come into my location. As soon as I didn't even have time to take them out of the box that they came in. Like the box that was used to ship them. I did not even have time to take them out of that before I had 5 guests walk into my store at 12:30 in the morning, or 12:30 in the afternoon now, because my store opens up at noon. 5 guests came into my store asking for PlayStation 4s. I immediately sold the 3 that I received, and I had to tell the other 2 guests that asked for them that I just sold out. It's a supply and demand thing. The supply is not there, the demand is. Do not ask us, we do not know. We can tell you if we're going to get a shipment in anytime soon, but at the current moment, with all this stuff going on with Backstreet Boys reunion tour still running rampant in the country, and the ports not working correct or not not working correctly, but being held up with everything being inundated because of it, or because of the reunion tour and everything else. We don't know when things are going to come in, or we don't know if we have them available at our warehouse unless you ask us. We can check in store if they are available to be shipped to you from our warehouse. Ask an associate if they can be ordered online. If we can find it online ourselves, we will point you to our online website and you can get it shipped from our warehouse in Grapevine, Texas to your home. Don't assume that we are holding stuff in the back room, because we are not. We are holding in the back room? Our bathroom. And stuff to send stuff out, such as boxes and bubble wrap and stuff like that. We are not holding systems, controllers, headsets, games. Nothing is being held in back rooms that's vital to being sold. Do not ask, because it's not there. And if you think it is, I'm telling you right now, stop thinking that way. You are sadly mistaken. I've shown many people who've come into my store my back room. What's in my back room are boxes used to send items out when people order something from our website that gets sent from my store to their home. So there are those boxes. Stuff that people have returned to us that we have to send back to our warehouse to hopefully get fixed. That's in my back room. That's it. I have nothing else. We have a table back there so we can eat our lunch. By all means, tell me where there's a system, or a headset, or a controller, or anything else I can sell you that would be worth your while. It's not there. I promise you that. We're not going into the back room and saying, oh, it's not there. I've shown people my back room. I've flat out opened up the door and let them see into the bathroom and my back room. There's nothing there. So do not assume we have it in store. We just don't want to sell it to you, because that's not the case. It's a case of the demand is there, the supply chain has gotten a snag in it. That is the best way I can describe it. Is there's a snag in the supply chain, and right now with everything going on, we don't know. So do not ask me questions about the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X, or when we are getting X item in store, because I do not know. And the associate in the store probably doesn't know unless it's on the inventory list of stuff coming in. Even then, sometimes it can take upwards of a week to come into the store. So, who the hell knows? Now that that is out of the way, any other questions you have GameStop related, I will answer. I've worked as a beverage repair technician for better part of a year. I worked as a beverage repair technician from, I think, January to about November a couple years ago, like 2-ish years ago. I worked as a beverage repair technician while also working at game. Mind you, all the jobs I'm going to mention now, I've worked while working at GameStop prior to becoming a key holder and then assistant store manager. So, in some of these, I've still worked as an assistant store manager. And I will let you know which ones are which. As a regular part-time associate that's there maybe once a month, I've worked as a beverage repair technician, where I would go into places like McDonald's, Burger King, Costco, uh, IKEA, any place that has a soda fountain inside of it, or a drive-through machine, I've gone and serviced. Inside of Costco, I've cleaned out the ice machines that they have that are in their food courts. I've gone into McDonald's and argued with the franchise location owner or McDonald's corporation uh, agent, telling them that the location that I'm currently in requires a new drive-through machine. Or just telling the employee that's in the location, hey, your Dr. Pepper bag syrup is out. That's all you need to do is change that bag, and you're golden. order some. That it. I've had instances where it's super easy. That's the case of, hey, your Dr. Pepper bag ran out of syrup. That's why it's not dispensing. You guys need to order some more. To, guys, your drive-through machine's dead. It's 40 plus years old. All of the syrup that's been spilling out of it when it creates drinks has just corroded all of the wiring inside, and it won't turn on anymore. I've dealt with all of that. Uh, I've worked as an Uber driver because as an Uber driver you can kind of set your own schedule. I've done that as a key holder for GameStop and as a regular associate of GameStop because, excuse me, like I said, you can create your own schedule. So yeah, I can answer questions when it comes to ride sharing as well, or some questions. Uh, when I was working as a part-time associate with no responsibilities aside from just showing up and trying to get some numbers, a reservation or whatever, I worked as an apprentice electrician for about 5 years. So I've got about 5 years worth of construction experience under my belt. So anything that's related to electricity or construction in general, feel free to ask those questions. I'll do my best to answer. I was working 50, 60 hours a week, on job sites. Sometimes it was at an airport. Sometimes it was out in the heat doing, digging for a multi-million-dollar house so they can put a pool in their backyard. Or I was working at a Costco, for instance, and we had to rewire their air conditioned section of the store, like the one that's got the really really cold AC for fresh produce such as like eggs and stuff like that. Where you walk into it and you feel like you need a jacket or like a sweater or something. I've worked in rooms like that, and even colder, to where we were told, "Hey, wear like a windbreaker and stuff. Wear gloves because you're gonna need them. You're gonna be in freezers basically. You're gonna be in like 20-degree temperature." So I've worked in blistering heat. I've worked in freezing cold. I've worked in giant puddles of oil and grease coming out of a septic tank, basically. I've worked in all sorts of scenarios. I've dealt with a whole bunch of different things. I've worked on I-beams 75 feet in the air, strapped in with a harness on me, with nothing to protect me but a nylon lanyard in case I fell off the I-beam, pulling wire thicker than my arm. My arm's not that small. I can't even get my hand around my arm, as you can see. Thicker than my arm. Two or three of them in a bundle like that, pulling it through a cable tray. So I can tell you some horror stories and some good stories about doing stuff like that. I worked at Toys R Us while I was also an associate at GameStop before I became a key holder. I worked at Toys R Us before they went out of business as a seasonal associate. So I can tell you about Toys R Us, how I liked it there, and everything else. Uh, I still work once the nightclubs and bars can open back up safely again. Once the Backstreet Boys reunion tour is not as bad. Once Backstreet's not as back, basically. uh, I've worked as like I said, I continue to work as a security guard for nightclubs and bars. So I can tell you that I've been doing that for several years now, for about 6 years. So I can tell you almost anything there is to know about the ins and outs of the bar industry, and what are signs to look out for if you're working as a security guard. What are signs to look out for, when women are obviously not enjoying their time with a male guest that might be around them, and signs to look out for if a guest is getting too drunk. When is the time to tell the bartender, hey, cut them off, they're done. Have them pay their bill. They can chill, they can get water, they can do whatever, but no more alcohol. That's it, they're done. And when you gotta escort that guy or girl out. And how you deal with that girl or guy who thinks, they have money to flash, or they got boobs to show, or they got tits or ass to show, or whatever it is, and they think they're going to be a high roller and get in because they're underage. What to do in those scenarios? What to do in scenarios where everybody's of age and there's a cover to do? You guys have a cover going on. How do you work deals out and stuff like that? I can help you with that because I've done stuff like that. On what was it? In the area I live in, around Halloween, we have like the strip that I work on throws a big Halloween block party, and yeah, they throw a big Halloween block party, and that's the time where everybody's dressed up in costumes and stuff like that. So it's even more hard. It's even harder to tell who's of age and who isn't with makeup, with masks, with all this other crap. But we can visibly see like it's a group of people coming from like a wedding reception or a big get together, and the place of your place of business has like a $5 or $10 cover, and they've got 20 people. How do you work out a deal with that so you can get all of them in? Everybody's happy. Guys, I've walked away from nights like that with $100 tip in my pocket on top of my hourly pay. So I've made money hustling and making money where I could, and making deals and getting everybody happy. So go ahead and ask me your questions about that. I can tell you about some of the most belligerent people I've had to deal with, some of the situations I've been put in because a girl may have passed out because she got too drunk. Or here's a scenario I actually had to deal with. Girl was narcoleptic, started drinking, didn't tell her friends, and I don't know if you guys know, but alcohol and narcolepsy don't mix well. If somebody's a narcoleptic and they start drinking alcohol, they're prone to falling asleep even quicker than those that or than when they don't, even if they take their medication. They were in the middle of playing pool, and this girl, as she's getting ready to line up a shot, she just falls asleep, and she almost falls backwards and hits her head on the ground. I had to scoop in, not like a sexual way, but ease her gently to the ground and make sure she didn't bust her head open on the floor because I realized she was narcoleptic and saw exactly what was going on. So, what to do in situations like that when there's a fight that breaks out. I I can give you advice on that. So, whatever questions you want to ask me about life in general, I will do my best to ask. GameStop, I will do my best to ask. Beverage repair technician, I will do my best to ask. Uber and Toys R Us, I will do my best to answer for all of these. Sorry, not ask. I'll do my best to answer. And when it comes to being an electrician or working in construction, I still have my National Electrical Code for 2013, which I believe is still being used in a bunch of places across the U.S. Because it's a 3-year cycle when they release new books, but they don't adopt the current year's book for a few years because so little changes. It's one of those where like a house could be built in 2020, still using the 2013 National Code because of how little has changed from 2013 to 2020. I think that's how it would work. Sorry, 2014, 2017, 2020. Yeah. So I have the 2014 NEC, the National Electrical Code, in my closet. I will do my best to answer any sort of electrical questions you may or may not have, whether it's how to rewire an outlet, how to change an outlet correctly, how to wire a ceiling fan, how to do whatever. Any sort of construction related questions, what to look out for on job sites that can be considered dangerous and hazardous. When should stand your ground and not work because it's a issue for your safety. I can give you advice based on experiences I've been put in. So go ahead, either tweet me your questions or leave a comment in the section down below what your question is, and in about a month's time I will gather all of the questions and I will answer them. And I'm also going to be taking questions over on Reddit. I'm actually going to be making a Reddit AMA post here in a little bit so you can ask the question there as well. If I see any repeat questions, I'm just going to answer the question once. So yeah, that's it, guys. Like I said, my name is Ben Shadowswolm. If you have again any questions about GameStop, Toys R Us, working as a beverage repair technician, working for Uber, working construction, working at nightclubs and bars, ask me questions or ask me life questions in general. I'll do my best to answer them. Leave those comments in the comment section down below. Don't forget to check out the other videos I have on the channel. I don't just work at GameStop, I am a gamer. So ask me video game questions as well. Ask me what games I'm playing. I'm playing several different games, but most of them on my PC. And if you ask me to verify, that I work at GameStop, I can show you like the 3 name tags I have and my store keys. If that's not enough, I don't know what is. But yeah, that's it, guys. Like I said, my name is Ben Shadowswell. Leave those questions in the comment section down below or tweet them at me. And I will see you guys in about a month. Hopefully, you guys have some good questions for me. Until then, see ya.